Dao, which is Mandarin, I believe, or I don't know, but I don't really know. So this whole area of no, don't know, very, very powerful if it comes out of your awareness. I sometimes say, I don't know. I perhaps should say I don't know a lot more often. But it is necessary to go into not knowing first, not to panic in your ego and go into I know, not to go into I know, or I can come up with something. I can't just say I don't know. Yes, you can. Knowing and not knowing is something that the ego mind, the self-centered mind, the narcissistic mind, the me, and my stuff, my feeling, my ideas, my friends, my enemies, my story about myself. Your story about yourself creates something that is unreal. Unreal. It's called the past. Unreal. It's just as unreal as the future. It doesn't mean we don't have one. Of course we do. It's a relative truth. But we're not working on relative truth here, my friends. We're working on finding out what is ultimately true. So an aspect that is very, very difficult to conceptualize. Very difficult. And the very difficulty in conceptualizing is the grasping quality of the mind that wants to conceptualize. That will not allow an open dimension. I don't know. So from the point of view of this path, if you're on this path, if you're truly on this path, your whole life is a Shuso ceremony. From now on, when somebody asks you, why do you meditate? You can say, I don't know, because you don't. You don't know. I'm not saying you might not start out that way, saying whatever kind of propaganda or communication or announcements or whatever is showing up in your mind stream. But it gets more and more and more into, I don't know. It doesn't get into, I know that. I know what the first tenet is. I know what the second tenet is. I know what the third tenet is. I don't even know. And I wrote the damn things. So that section, that area, that quality, that passage, that interim, that bardo, that gap between when you start sitting and you think you know why you're sitting, and it slowly becomes more and more, I don't know. My encouragement for you all here is to find out who you are. Identity, mistaken identity is the main issue here. And that identity extends to from not knowing who this is, I don't know, to not knowing what that is out there, I don't know. That's the beginning of perception only, or the teaching that is being pointed at in the Yogacara tradition. It also happens as we practice on the path, especially with an intense practice like is the form of this monastery, which is pretty intense. If you were to look at other monasteries and find out what kind of practices they do, I'm not particularly trying to compare it a little bit, but mainly it's just that people come here, this is the form, you agree to sit down and look at your insanity moment after moment after moment. And what shows up around that more than likely is, I don't know what, I don't even know why I'm doing this. It's beyond the relative kind of knowing. Though if one spends a lot of time in that bardo called I don't know, so that area, as you begin to practice and begin to look at all the things you do know, I feel this way, I feel that way, it looks this way, they shouldn't have, that shouldn't be, I should, they should, I should, I don't know. Wait a minute, I don't know, no, I do know, this is this. Eventually that starts to crack open, and we don't know because we are wandering into a forest we've been able to avoid for the first 20, 30, 40 years of our life, or whatever it may be. But as you do that, it becomes more of a not knowing. Even the things you knew 2, 3, 4 years ago, or before you started practicing, that you knew, you realize, oh, those are just conclusions out of relative truth, that there's something beyond that. And if we need to respond, if we're forced to respond, if we're in a situation as one who is going through that Shuso Dharma combat, I don't know. I surrender. I give up.